we've spoken before about how difficult it is to, to have peace when you've both experienced and your peoples have both experienced such trauma. So let me first ask you where you stand, how you're feeling right now, Maoz. Your parents were brutally murdered on October 7th when Hamas stormed even their kibbutz, their village, and burnt the house to the ground. What kind of pushback did you get when you basically put out a family statement saying that you were not seeking revenge, rather peace?
Yes, so only 2 days after losing our parents and many of our childhood friends and people we knew my entire life, me, my 3 sisters, and my young brother, we took a decision. We took a decision not to reject revenge, that we don't want to avenge the deaths of our parents, realizing avenging their death will only escalate the cycle of bloodshed, terror, and suffering we, Palestinian Israelis, are being trapped with for a century. And of course, it's not going to bring them back to life. And we said it's within our family mission, based on our parents, beloved parents' legacy, to break this cycle and pave a new path, a path to peace and reconciliation. And 2 days after making this decision, Aziz reached out to me. Aziz reached out to me offering his condolences. And it was exactly the end we needed. We needed to save ourselves from drowning into the ocean of sorrow and pain.
It's a really remarkable story. And Aziz, obviously you two knew each other and you reached out to Maoz. And I think you wondered whether you should. I mean, when you hear what Maoz is saying, I'm going to get to your tragedy in a second, but as the other side, so to speak, when you hear what he's saying about what happened to his parents, the decision they made as a family, what did you think? And what was making you hesitate from reaching out yourself?
Well, the only hesitation is, would he respond or does he want to hear from me right now? I've known Maoz very briefly. I only met him once about 10 years earlier. But it felt like it would be a mistake not to reach out. It's in times of these that empathy is very important. And at times in these that we should take out those lines of Israeli and a Palestinian and see each other as a human beings and that every life matters.
And Maoz, how did you react to Aziz, given that he lost his own brother at the hands of Israelis during the first Intifada, Taysir, who was so close to him? And I'll ask you about him, Aziz, but how did you feel about Aziz reaching out to you?
I just sent him back a broken heart because my heart was broken at the time. And like Aziz shared, we didn't really knew each other. So just a week after, we went on our first meeting on Zoom, and Aziz shared with me about his brother, about his personal loss and tragedy, and also how we overcome, and how he chose also forgiveness, how we choose to work for peace, to avoid others to suffer from the same pain he suffered. And then in the last 2.5 years, we've been working together, co-authoring The Future is Peace, and speaking in many places. And now I can say proudly, say that yes, I lost my parents on October 7th, but I want Aziz. I want Aziz as a brother. So again, every time I want to again acknowledge that and to thank him for being there for me in the most devastating time of my life.
So what you just did was really beautiful and surprising. I haven't had people hug on air, particularly in this circumstance, and it's really something to behold. Tell me about Taysir, Aziz, the brother you lost.
Yeah, I'm the youngest of 7. Taysir is the one just older than me. We are 9 years difference. We shared the same room. We shared actually the same bed. And he functioned more as my parent than as my brother. He's the one who took me to school on my first day. He was arrested from home on allegation of throwing rocks. He was 18 at the time. I was 9. He was tortured in prison, which resulted in his death as soon as he got out of prison. He was 19 at the time, and I was 10. And it was, I felt like an orphan at that point. I felt like I've lost the person who protected me all my life.
And I have to say, as you're speaking, and both of you, Maoz, you're talking about trying to, bridge the gap and have some peace. And Aziz, you're talking about this torture in prison. it's still all going on. I mean, it's still going on in the midst of the current war on Gaza and even on the West Bank that hasn't stopped yet. And it's keeping the communities apart in a very real way.
Yeah.
But I want to quote something from what you wrote, Aziz, about, the moment you told Maoz how long it took you to move past the pain of losing Taysir. You said, when my brother was killed, I was broken too. It took 8 years before I was able to move past the pain and bitterness that was consuming me from within. The first time Maoz and I spoke, I asked him how he was able to make the transition so quickly. Do you remember what you told me, Maoz? When you are in a desert, you cry out for water. When you are in a war, you cry out for peace.
That's exactly where I was after losing my parents. I was crying day and night, and I was crying for peace. And so it's when Aziz reached out to me and many other Palestinians, and I reach out to others. And now, thanks to Aziz, I have many friends in Gaza, in the West Bank, in Lebanon, in Jordan, and even in Iran. And we believe that when our tears come together, this is the cure.